One.
And we're live again. It's Casual, the talk show.
Casual, everybody.
Yeah.
Live.
Live from Kimona, my house.
This week. I hope you guys are doing okay. And let's have Jonathan bring us in with a little music.
Yes.
Go, Johnny, go.
All right.
Run, Forrest, run. Very nice, Jonathan. Very nice.
Beautiful. Yay. You're such a good picker.
Very good. Very good. This has been one of those kind of crazy up and down weeks, hasn't it? You know,
Yes.
It's like peaks and valleys. And, you know, I mean, we've seen different people who are happy and then all of a sudden, something's going on. And, you know, so it's just been kind of one of those kind of weird weeks.
It's gotta be like in the stars somewhere. We need to get an
Maybe,
astrologer to figure that out.
be.
Something's going on.
We need someone to tell us which planet is throwing us all amok.
Yeah,
Or something
what
like
is
that.
going on?
Well, I think the alignment is going to come into way next weekend when people start coming together in our circle, which will be nice.
Isn't that
In
fun?
the
Yeah.
Atlanta area, not this weekend, but
Yes.
next weekend.
Yes.
And I hope to be up in Atlanta to see Lars and Tom and hopefully see some of the Kimona My House and Social Distant Fest people.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they're all meeting one another, and I'm so
Yeah.
left out, and I keep feeling jealous. I'm like, I see all these pictures of Tom and Sylvia and Troy. Everybody's hanging out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not
This is
there.
making me feel a little bit bad about posting pictures when I get to Athens because I know Renee is just she's
But
gonna
she's going to
give
get
me
there
a
in
high-
August.
Yeah, she will be there in August.
August.
It's so
That time will
far
come.
away.
It's not that far off.
It's
Yeah,
not that
that's
far.
true.
I'll be
One and a
there.
half months away, just a couple weeks.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping this show will cheer people up, bring people back up because we have a
Yeah.
great show tonight.
Yes.
We have comedian theologian Lou Angelwolf will be coming up in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This guy is a legend in comedy down here in Florida. Everybody knows him. Everybody knows him in the Southeast circuits. He's a very funny guy and just a very warm, nice human being. So everybody calls him Brother Lou. And
Aw.
but before that, we're going to bring up an actress whom I also know from here in Florida. She's a very busy actress, and we're going to talk to her right now. Her name is Avis Marie Barnes. Let's bring her on up.
Welcome.
There
Hi,
she
how
is.
you doing? Ooh, I almost had a scare. My computer
scare?
decided to go boom, and yeah, but it came back. It's good. It's all good now.
Now, are you in the Tampa Bay area or Orlando area? Where are you?
I'm in the Orlando area.
Orlando
Yeah,
area. So
I'm
we
in
gotta get
Orlando.
together more.
Huh?
We got to get together more. I'm out in
Yeah.
spring, so
Oh,
we
you're
should
not,
get together for
you're not
coffee
far at
sometime.
all. Yeah, like a 20-minute hop and drive, depending on I-4 and its temperament.
I got to
Pretty
talk
much.
to you about Just Right Lakeland too. Monday nights.
Monday
Um,
night. Oh
Anyway,
my God.
I met Avis Marie around the year 2000, 2001. We were doing a little comedy sketch for Fringe Festival called
Yeah.
the League of Semi-Superheroes, I believe was what it was called.
Yeah.
You were the angry secretary for this League of
Yeah.
Semi-Superheroes.
Well, I was angry because I didn't have
There were all these
superpower.
very ineffective superheroes, and I was the puddle, which was a superhero that was very emotional and liked to cry. Cried all the time. So
Yeah, it's been a
we had
long
wonderful
time.
together with that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I remember performing it. We did it over at this, what is now called the Orlando Rep. We did it over at the Civic, right?
I believe
And
so, yeah.
yeah, I think in their black box. And that was a great group of people. It was
It was a fun group of people.
Yeah.
That's where I actually met
Who?
Tabitha Lee.
Tabitha. Yes.
She's changed her name now. It's something else. It's like Morticia Stewart or something.
Oh my God. I talk to her every once in a while. She sends me stuff over Facebook, which seems to be the standard for keeping in touch with people, which is a little sad because we used to go to places and meet folks and stuff, and I kind of miss that. But it's been a long time since I've seen anybody in the group as far as that's concerned, and you've kept in touch with me, which is terrific. And
I'm still in touch with Cindy Dragon from that.
And Sydney Dragon, yes.
Right.
I haven't seen him in a long time either.
And Ash was in that.
Now, Ash and I worked together at Universal Studios for at least about 5 or 6 years. I met his mom. We also did we did a show together. I can't remember exactly what that was, but we kept we saw each other on a constant basis for a very long time until I believe he moved, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I don't know where he is now, but he has kept in touch with me through Facebook and
Facebook.
So right after this thing was over, this sketch, I find out that I'm a horror movie fan. I love horror movies. And I find out that you're in a movie called Jeepers Creepers.
Oh dear.
Yes, this was 2001.
Yeah.
This was 3 years before I went to China. So this is 2001. And when people ask me, what is a scary movie to watch? I usually tell them Alien, the original Alien. I usually tell them Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. And I tell them Jeepers Creepers because this movie was so off the chain weird.
Yes, it
bizarre.
Was. That was
if fans go to YouTube and look up a clip called Jeepers Creepers, The Creeper Intercepts, they can watch you get killed.
Yeah. See, now I have a debate on that. I'm not sure if I'm dead. I just got pulled out of the car. We're sure that my partner's dead. Yes, it could be. I could have been just thrown to the side of the road, and
there you go.
And then come back in the sequel.
In case they decide to go to Jeepers Creepers 4.
Angry Cop.
Because there were 2 sequels. I didn't watch the 2 sequels because they had such bad reviews, but I watched the first one.
Yeah,
it was just very disturbing.
Yeah. They had 2 endings in that particular movie, and one of them, to this day, kind of creeps me out because Justin Long, you can hear him scream as they go through that little warehouse at the end of the movie before they see him, and he took his, it's old enough movie, so he took his eyes and stuff, and every time that they do a different one on Sci-Fi Channel, but every time I see it, it just I don't watch that movie.
I have not seen the alternate ending.
They had an alternate.
How terrible that ending was to that movie.
Yeah,
Justin Long. How do you hate Justin Long? You can't. You
don't. No.
How can you love him completely, and then that happens at the end? So sorry for the people that haven't seen it. Spoilers.
Yeah,
it's not a happy ending
for him. Yeah.
Now, since I've been in China, oh my God, Revolution, Sleepy Hollow, Bloodline, Atlanta, Stranger Things. I'm binge watching Doom Patrol season 2 about 2 months ago, and boom, there you are in an episode of Doom Patrol. It was a nice scene too. It was a very nice dramatic scene, and that's not counting all your nurse roles that you've done.
Yeah, a lot of nurses.
You've done quite a few nurse roles. I'm glad that you're breaking out of
that. I seem to have the face that wants to help people. I don't know where they're getting that.
But actually, you've actually stepped up your game now. You've actually gotten recurring characters on Lodge 49 and Greenleaf. You go, girl. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I've been very, very lucky. I've been really lucky. I'm blessed with people that believe in me, and I've just been having a great time. You know, whether you work or not work, it's just been fun. It's
That's
just been fun,
wonderful.
and meeting some really wonderful people. So can't complain.
Do you have any stories from any of those shows? Does anything stand out as noteworthy? Something that maybe was funny or weird, or that happened during a shooting?
The fact
Or...
that I got on this is funny and weird, but you know, oh my goodness.
Sorry about
There
that.
you go. All right. See that?
Somebody tried to call me. So that shows you that I'm doing this from my phone.
Oh my God. The Jeepers Creepers was like 10 days, and yeah, you were a vampire because basically you worked all night long, and then you went home in the daytime, and that was I've never experienced that before. You know, you try to sleep during the day. I could not do it. And so you would always go with this sort of weariness, which kind of helped a little bit. And I met one of my best friends on that show. She ended up being a stunt double. And that's how we met. I don't know whether, yeah. So yeah, I mean, with that particular show, it was just weird. The guy that played the creeper, would get all dressed up, and then he hide behind trailers. So when you walk by, he would jump out at you, which was, yeah, Jonathan. He would just like, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I'll kill you, creeper, and there will be no more movie. Stop it.
We'll have to get a new cute boy to wear that suit.
Really, really. But it was a lot of fun working on that particular one, and
those method actors.
Oh, no idea. With the two recent ones, with Greenleaf and Loft 49, I ended up doing both of them at the same time. So it was just sort of strange. I wore braids in Lodge 49. I had them crocheted in my head, and I had my own hair for Greenleaf. So it would be like I do 2 days, and then I have to go to the hairdresser and put some braids in, and then go over to Lodge 49 and then take them out and go. So sometimes I got a little confused. So that's where I was.
Am I supposed to have braids today?
Yeah, really. Oh, my hair. Oh, right. I'm cool. It's okay. Somebody else is going to do it. So yeah, that was a little weird, but it was also fun too. It's just like trying, you know, to say to yourself that, okay, I navigated that, and it's such a small thing, but this job throws so many interesting things at you, and I still work over at
That's
university.
akin to the actors who like working in New York, and then they'll fly to LA to shoot something, and then they'll go back to New York.
Yeah, and then they go back and forth.
That's cool. You know, they're saying, oh yeah, I just flew across the country to do this other thing.
Yeah, but then you understand why they need rest. I don't want to talk to anybody. You know, but yeah, I don't know. Stranger Things, we worked on a bus. The bus was stationary, so you had to you saw it later on when they did it, put the green screen up where the window was so that it looked like it was raining and everything else. I've learned a lot in these various jobs in order to help people when they come over. I filmed their auditions as well, so I've learned a lot from those experiences to be able to bring that, to help people bring that to their auditions when they send them out.
So you coach people who are doing auditions?
I film their auditions. Yeah, I film their auditions and I send them to the proper place of where they're supposed to go, and I coach them during that time. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I've learned a lot from those things, and I try to bring that to them so that they can have.
So you really do have one of those faces where people know you're going to help out.
Yeah, I guess so, but not nursing. I did try Grey's Anatomy. I tried Grey's Anatomy once. That's not me. What is that? Where they did dissect actual people.
Oh,
yeah, for med school. Walked in, walked out. Can't do that.
I remember in school they brought little baby pigs in to dissect, and
Yeah,
just the smell,
the formaldehyde. Yeah, no, no.
yeah. Never
It was
forget that.
interesting, and thank goodness it was a pig. But oh no, no, no! I mean, to do that on a regular basis, I have to give people some props.
I was watching the movie Silence of the Lambs the other night, a couple of nights ago, and the scene where they're doing the autopsy and they're putting the stuff under their nose, you know. So
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's for real.
that's for real. Yeah, and
sure.
with Jeepers Creepers, all the special effects, the blood, the people being splayed open, that type of thing. I mean, you're looking at it and it looks so real, and it's creepy. Which is what it's supposed to be.
I've got to give props. Like I said, I watched a lot of horror movies. I've got to give props to the guys that did the special effects for that, because they did a really good job of making it look very realistic. You know, the
very
corpses,
realistic,
like you said, and the dead body skins, and blood and stuff. Have you ever gotten any call to do, since you've been on Stranger Things and in Jeepers Creepers, to do like the convention circuits? Like they do one in Tampa, I think, called the Necronomicon.
No, yeah,
the comic book conventions.
Comic book. I've gone there as a participant, like the Star Trek ones. I went to a lot of those. I'm a Star Trek fan to my heart, but no, none of the. Yeah, I mean, the characters that I played didn't lend itself to that. They, you know, I mean, most of the people that go to them, they want to see the main characters of the show. So that's the way that particular league works.
Well, I've gone to some of those too, and the Star Trek characters, some of them are really obscure.
Oh, that's yeah.
Well, this person was in episode 147 of Next Generation, and
well, the fact that you can name a number.
They were under 300 pounds of makeup, but here they are. You can sign a picture with them.
Well, I think, oh my God. No, there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm deep into Star Trek, but the only ones that I could name are probably the classic, and the rest of them is sort of like, I know what episode that is, but don't ask me to name it. Don't ask me to do that. But I like visiting those things. They're terrific.
As William Shatner said, get a life.
Get a life. I wasn't there for that one, but I was there at the first Star Trek convention they had in New York. So,
well, and then we found out something about you we didn't know. You're a Trekker. You like the Trek stuff. Very good.
Yeah, I like the whole idea.
You do
of
a lot of
space.
stage acting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What I was going to ask was a stage, television, film. Which is your preference? Which do you really enjoy doing the most?
There's advantages to both of them. With television, the scene that you're going to be doing for that day, you only need to know it for that day. You don't need to know everything else about it. And it is, you need to know the story and the storyline in order for you to portray the character in the correct way. But there's a certain ease to it. You just have to know what pages you have to do at that time. And stage is more of a challenge because you get to do, you have to know everything and do it once and try to do it with as much perfectionism as you possibly can. They both have their advantages, getting to know really good people that you're working with. Stage is instant gratification. I mean, they see what they like, they'll clap for it. They'll, the energy that you get from an audience is very powerful, and it helps push you along and everything. Plus it gives you a sort of sense of stuff that you didn't think that you were doing. There are some plays that you'll say a line, but you've been practicing it so long that you think that it comes off in one way, and the audience either finds it very sad, very moving, or very funny. And it's a learning experience throughout that particular process. And you can change it up. You can change it up in television too, but you only get they only show you one shot. Yeah. And with stage production, you can do it in about 5 or 6 or 7 different ways. And if you're with some really good people that can feel you, they go right along with it. And that is an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
So,
and that's one of the advantages, I would think, is the fact that it's an ensemble and you're working together as a team.
Yeah.
It gives you a good satisfaction, and again, that applause at the end that you get
and
is instant, nirvana.
yes, it is. It's like,
That's what
oh,
hooks us all in the
thank you.
beginning. We do our
You
first
know?
play and we get a standing ovation or we get a good applause from the crowd. We come out to do our bow and it's like, well, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is it.
Yeah,
This is great. This is acceptance.
And that sort of gets you into, and television is not necessarily that, but when you see the finished product I think I heard that on an
Makes you feel
Oscar
good.
show or something like that. Editing is everything. It makes you seem like you are perfection. They pick the best thing or the thing that works, and it's something to see. So they both have their advantages. They're both great mediums, and you learn something new every day, and you challenge yourself every single day. So,
how many stage productions do you think you've done over the years?
oh dear God. I acted exclusively pretty much on stage when I was in New York. So that was 13 years before I moved to Florida. And when I got to Florida, I thought that I would, get my SAG card and this and the other thing, but I did a lot more stage productions too. I worked with PRT, Playwrights Roundtable, for a while. I liked them because it was short little plays, but it was very interesting to deal with. Orlando Rep, Orlando Shakes. Let me see. At the time that they had People's Theater, I worked with them. So there was a time that I was doing, when I first came out here, I was doing about 3 stage productions, maybe 4 a year. And now it's sort of cut back a little bit. So I try to do at least 1 a year in some form or shape capacity. And so it's been a lot. If I had to guess a number, it's been more than 200, less than.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. I've slowed down quite a bit. I I garden now,
What was the strangest thing that ever happened during a production or during a stage production for you? These stories are usually the best. The noises off stories from the backstage.
Not strange. It's just some crazy stuff that is happening. When I first started out at Howard University, there was a stage production of the Me Nobody Knows, and I was backstage one time, and we didn't realize that the guy that was supposed to be smoking a joint on stage, and they use usually herbs in order to roll it, and we didn't realize that he was highly susceptible to oregano. It would just throw him completely off. So a couple of folks, whenever he decided that he was going to be on stage, it was a couple of us backstage that would make sure he would get the oregano cigarettes, because it was just so much fun to watch him work around. That was a long time ago. That was in college. We don't do that anymore.
I think the funniest story I ever heard about a stage production going awry was a stage production of Dracula up in North Florida, where a little girl in the audience ran up to the stage to one of the female characters and yelled to her, "Dracula, he's right behind you!"
Oh my God!
And they all had to play through that until her mom finally dragged her back to the chair.
Oh, that was cute. She was trying to warn.
She was trying to save her.
She was trying to warn. Oh my God. I've had similar
I think you're going to
things.
tell me a second story. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. And I was trying to debate on telling the second story because it was kind of, this kind of.
Now you got to tell it.
Oh Lord, I used to do prisons. I had a business partner in New York, and we used to do sort of like variety shows for prisons. So we had people that came with singers and folks that came and between the two of us, we had about 300 short stories, poems, monologues, this and that and the other thing. So we would he worked with Operation Prison Gap, and we would go to the prisons. And they have like a stage in most of the Max and Max that look like school stages, so you had to be in the front foremost. And it was, despite the conditions, it was usually a great audience. It's kind of interesting because you would stand there and you would do things like scenes from Shakespeare. We did ours, where Othello kills Desdemona. And you had to be able to allow for that fourth wall to be broken, like the story that you just told, because they would yell things up on the stage, go get her, whatever it is. And you would have to, and he wouldn't break out of character. He would say, I'm going to get her now. Shut up. and then continue. And we had this one young man that had some marvelous poetry, and some really great poetry. And we were standing in the wings and we were watching him. He was very nervous. This is the first time he's ever done Max. And I think we were at Napanaw at the time. And he's up there on stage and he was emoting, and you could tell that his confidence was coming, and and people were getting into it, and they didn't know the words, so they couldn't repeat them after him. And one of the guys got so moved that he stood up in the middle of the audience and said, just mouthed it. Through him.
This is cable. It's okay.
Yeah, well, but that's exactly the way that he did it. You could read it. He was I don't
think they ever said that to Johnny Cash in Folsom Prison. That's my guess.
No. I wonder if he would have missed a couple of notes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the prisons were probably the strangest places, but they were also very sad. I would never do detentees again. Going to Rikers Island, folks that know that they're going to be bailed out soon or something like that, they don't like to listen. But captive audience, that term is definitely what they are.
That applies. That applies.
So they enjoy the experience. They know the words to popular plays. They definitely know the words to Shakespeare. They're very well-read men that are there. Usually we went to mostly the male side and not female. But I think that taught me how to deal with audiences at Universal Studios to some extent.
Much worse.
Yeah, most definitely. If you want somebody to scream at you, just be on stage at Universal.
You mentioned poetry. Do you actually write and perform your own poetry, or?
I do not write poetry. No, okay. I don't write. I do perform it. I do perform other people's poetry.
Performing is one thing. Okay.
Yeah, just as one thing. I have never tried to write any poetry. I think my mind works too fast. I write things down in shorthand, but I can't just sit and do that. That's for a lot more patient people than myself.
Understood. Yeah. Jonathan, who is my music guy, actually is quite a poet. He actually does quite a bit of poetry.
Wow!
And performs it regularly on Facebook, on the Kimono My House, which we are on now, and Social Distance Fest. So I want to give him a little props there.
Hey,
what I will hope to for Avis Marie Barnes. What's coming up? What should we look for?
Well, there is a project that's coming up. I'm going to wait until it settles. I can't really talk about it right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I don't think that they didn't have me sign anything, but it should be something that really, I'm looking forward to doing it. Yeah, and I think you saw the last thing that I did, which was Doom Patrol. And before
can you say if your character is coming back or not?
I cannot say because they have not told me that.
Okay. Okay.
I would like to think so, but
it certainly seemed to lend itself to you coming back, maybe as a recurring character for Rita to talk to.
yeah. It was, I hope so.
I hope so.
That was a wonderful thing.
As we do this in China to wish you luck. Right hand over left hand. And there's
Yes.
my crew.
Hey, I wanted to ask Avis Marie what your favorite role has been in your whole career. Do you have a favorite?
Oh,
That's a good question.
yeah, kind of, because I got to play a murderer in The Glades with 3 other women. I was very disappointed that I didn't get a chance to wield the murder weapon, but it was very cathartic, and I felt so relaxed after it was over. It just sort of like everything just went away. It was, I wouldn't mind trying to do that again, being the one that
Villains roles are fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
Villains roles are very fun to play. They're very interesting.
But that was possibly one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
Were
That
you
was a lot
going
of
something
fun.
in your life that made that visceral for you? Like, were you going something?
Oh no, I wasn't going through anything. It was just, I mean, there's the everyday stress, paying bills, all the rest of that jazz, and then all of a sudden somebody puts a bat in your hands, and you go,
I get to kill somebody.
It's like, hey, I feel good now.
I get to club somebody like a baby seal.
Yeah, say stop. Okay. Whew.
Oh, boy.
I feel cleansed.
Well, this has been wonderful. I have to get our next guest up now, but you're welcome to stay for the interview. We're going to bring Lou Angelwolf up. He's a comedian from Florida. You might know him. You might have seen him. He's also a theologian. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. It should be interesting.
I want to
So
hear
thank
how
you
those
so much
things
for a
go
wonderful
together.
interview.
Yeah, thank you.
And again,
Thank
please
you for
hang out with
asking
us.
me. That was a surprise and really
Do
nice.
you
of
want to
Thank
stay here, Avis Marie? Do you want to stay on screen, or do you want to go in the green room?
I think that I'm going to go in the green room. I want to give him his due as far as that the next guest due. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm going to be
Okay.
standing here and picking my nose or doing something weird, and that's just not going to be.
That could be
that's-
entertaining. That could be.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it could be. But
Actually,
we're just
Renee's very good about switching so that, my hair has been a mess tonight. I've been doing this all night. So, and I'll wait till Renee puts it on the guest, and then I'll do
I know.
that.
That's what I'll give you a
Come
little
back.
time, and I see you going like
yeah,
that,
just to
and
get it
you
out of
go
the
like
way.
Yeah, I
Like you said,
love.
But you're never really sure. You're never really sure.
Yeah,
They might have seen you do it.
they might have.
They might have.
Well, again, thank you so much. We're going to have to
Thank
get you back on again real soon.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I love
thank
you.
you.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Keep
You'll
Keep
be
us
in the
keep
green
me
room.
posted on what's coming up in TV
I
with
most
you, too,
definitely
and movies.
will. I most definitely
Thanks.
will. Okay.
All right, and here comes
All right,
Lou Angelwolf.
Yeah,
Hey,
let's
look
bring
at
Lou
that.
up.
Hi, everybody.
We go back
Hey.
a long way.
Yes, we do. Late 80s, I believe, Rory.
Yeah, late 80s
80
is when I started
80
doing comedy.
88, 89, right around in there.
You look very much like a friend of ours named Bob Ross. You have the
Bob
same look.
Ross.
You have that same look going. Yes.
Uh,
Not the painting
it's-
guy.
It's the
Happy
it's
little treat.
it's Wizard Boot Camp is what it is. I'm going through Wizard Boot
But you
Camp.
look good, sir. You look healthy.
I feel good. I feel good. I feel really good.
Awesome.
As a matter of fact. Yeah.
So we did a lot of stand-up comedy in the day together at
We did.
Coconut Circuits and Groucho's
And,
and what have you.
I don't believe I've had the opportunity to ever tell you this, but I was always happy when I was working with you. Like if you were my opening act or whatever, I was always
wow.
happy to see you on the bill because you left the audience so pleasant. You know, they'd seen an entertainer, okay, which
That's
is
a nice way to put it.
integral to a good show. They'd seen an entertainer, and you were funny and you were endearing and but so different from me that it was a great contrast in the show. So
There
it
you
was
go.
always nice to see you on the bill with me.
Yeah, and I try to juice them up without wearing them out. That was my thing.
Mhm. It's all about the show. It's all about the
Do the
show.
voices. Get them ready for you, and then let you have them.
Yeah.
Unless we're in
Like,
Pensacola, then it's a whole different story.
Then just pull out your machete and get what you can.
I had some of the worst hecklers in my life in Pensacola. I don't know what it is about that town.
They're bold.
Wow.
They're bold and dumb. Which is a very dangerous combination, as you know.
I'm so glad this is going to be archived. Let's get it down for posterity. Yeah, I had 4 guys that were in like uniform one night sitting up front, and they were just mumbling loud enough to where I could hear, and they were saying stuff about me while I was trying to perform. I can't remember who it was that I was headlining with, but I had to stop my act because it was so disturbing. Because they weren't saying stuff out loud where the other audience could hear, again, anything stupid that I could play with. They were just like, "Oh, you fat piece of shit! You can't tell jokes." Yeah. So I just, it was the first time it had ever happened, maybe the only time I've ever said, "Look, you're going to have to get these guys out of here." And I think it was Larry Reeb actually who was with me. That I can't believe I remembered that.
He's a funny guy.
They had to get him out. I had to get him out of there because I didn't want the headliner to go through that, and maybe they wouldn't have, but I actually told them to take a table of people out, and they did. And after the show, Larry came up to me and said, "I am so glad you did that. I'm so happy that you did that. That was really nice of you to do that for me."
Yeah.
And again,
well,
like you said,
see, you're a showbiz professional. And it's for the sake of the show, okay? Like I get booked sometimes to open for various celebrity acts, and they want a comedian, and they're doing a comedy thing of sorts. It's funny when actors go, "Okay, I don't have anything else to do. I'll do stand-up for a while," and then they really discover just how difficult it is. And I'm not putting anybody down. I mean, anybody that tries it. They got some chutzpah, but
I've heard about Mark Price doing this.
Oh yeah, that's I guess a classic example of it.
But he actually turned out being a big producer producing comedy shows. So yeah, I probably should have said, "Well, this is probably why I'm here doing this."
He's a bright guy. He's a bright guy. But how many great stand-ups do you know that are mediocre businessmen? They don't know any other facet of the business other than their show. So there's that. But to go back to what I was saying, like I worked with several comedians that I was funnier than they were. I was a stronger act than they are because all I do is stand-up. And consequently, after 36 years, you ought to be pretty good at. So
it's
I wouldn't go. Yeah, I'd hit the brakes so the show would have more continuity. I didn't want to be the lump in the middle, and then at the end they go, "Oh, you were funnier than the headliner." I don't care to hear that. What I wanted to hear was, "Wow, what a great show we saw." There's a great little meme going around right now that says, "You can't compete with me. I want you to win too." So, and that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing,
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I agree. That's the way it should be.
We're supposed to help each other.
I've just started to do rooms in Clubhouse now. I don't know if you're on there or not. But again, there's a lot more people that are less. I mean, when I was in the business, there were some people that would trash talk, that would say bad things about you because they were either jealous or they thought you were threatening their work, or something. I'm not sure what it was, but I feel like there's certain rooms, comedy rooms and stuff where the people are really very generous and very helpful. They want to help the young comics to learn. They're appreciative of the fact that there's a platform that they can get together and kind of talk, comedy and do maybe some shtick and some bits and see if it works or not. And again, it's helping because of the pandemic and what we're stuck in now. And luckily, this is now melting away. We're starting to see clubs open up, at half capacity now, and even some at full capacity. So, that's the way it should be.
Are you in Florida, Rory?
Yeah. I'm in Altamont Springs now.
Oh, okay.
Moved back from China in late 2019. I'm here with my daughter.
Aw.
And
Well, as far as a place to ride out this experience we just had, Florida was probably the easiest.
hey, we're out of the woods, man.
Exactly. I don't think we ever went in the woods, to be honest with you. So yeah, and I've been here on and off for 50 years, so it's kind of interesting.
I heard you went to Texas for a while.
I moved to Texas for a while, and I've lived in New York, and I've lived in Los Angeles, and I've lived in San Francisco. All for short periods of time. Florida has basically been my home for most of my life. I love it here. It's my little town of Clearwater is really getting quite popular. In fact, I've stopped telling people about how nice it is here. They go, hey, what's it like to live down there, Lou? I go, oh, it's okay, except did you know alligators can run at 40 miles an hour in a sprint? Did you know that it's the lightning capital of the world?
They'll carry you off.
It's the lightning capital of the world. I live in the lightning capital of the world. I tell people what we do is we go to the mall and we sit in our car and we watch people get out of their car and then bet to see who will make it to the door. And bam, they get hit by lightning. But and actually, if you think about it, that is the way to go. Get hit by lightning. That's the way to make your exit. Because think about it. Okay, for one, no suffering.
It blows through people's toes, and sometimes they survive that stuff.
Yeah, well, then you even got a bigger story. You could headline across America with the guy that got hit by lightning act.
Well, there you go.
But if it takes you out,
and he's got a dummy. His name's Pete Hefty.
But
don't hold that dummy up too high. Don't hold him up too high.
It's that rod that goes up his back. But anyway, if you get struck by lightning, the way you go out is like, people go, hey, did you hear about Angelwolf? They go, what happened? Oh, he died. Well, how'd he die? Oh, he got struck by lightning. The next thing people say is, holy shit. It's not like, oh my God, he's dead. It's like, holy shit, that's how he died. So you've got a great story forever, So that's I've already put in my order for my exit. So
well, that segues into my next question here, or my next comment. Somewhere during your long career as a comic, and something happened that completely and totally changed your life, and I want you to share that story here, if you would.
Absolutely. It was February of 1991. I was working at Crackers Comedy Club, which is now Side Splitters. In fact, Jim Schliebner, who was the guy that
just passed away.
Yeah. So
last week.
He was a great guy, and I'm on my way to the show, and I was working with Mark Klein, one of the many wonderful mentors in this business. He's just a fabulous human being. And anyway, I hit a truck head on the way to the show. I was straight-legged on the brake. I pushed my shin through my knee, and I pushed my femur through my pelvis. And of all the places you can put your femur, your pelvis is a low choice.
Yes.
So I probably, thank God for modern medicine, I probably would have died of internal bleeding that night, but they got it all under control. And I have 11 rods holding my pelvis together. I've got an artificial hip on the right side, a reconstructed knee. So I got a little hitch in my giddy up, but I still giddy up. But the most miraculous thing that happened through all that, I've always been a seeker. I've always wanted truth, more truth, light, more light, however you want to put it. And my mom and dad had gotten saved in a typical Christian manner. They, went down front, and gave their heart to Jesus and all that stuff. And my dad, who was a very social fellow, as you might imagine where I got some of my traits. Was very good friends with a pastor named Dr. Michael Guido, who actually owned and operated the second largest tract ministry in the world. He had Bible and salvation tracts in 57 different languages. The only one bigger than them was Chick Publications. Those are the ones you always see in truck stop bathrooms. Have you met Jesus while you're taking a dump? Huh? Anyway, while you're pinching a loaf, let me tell you about Jesus. So anyway, Dr. Guido calls me in my hospital bed. And
next to the Jeff Foxworthy and the Ollie Joe.
Yes. Dr. Guido calls me in my hospital bed and he asks me, he says, well, you know, Lou, he says, you kind of cheated death there. And I said, yeah, I really do feel that way. He goes, what if you would have died that night? Would you be comfortable with where you would have gone in your soul? And I went, no. So in this big tearful shutdown, I received Jesus Christ into my Lord as my Lord and Savior, and I received the gift of the Holy Spirit. And actually, at that very, very same time, as I received the gift of the Holy Spirit, I also received the gift of healing. So it's been a very, very comforting thing to me all my life. I've had this ability to pray meaningful prayers and help people get healed. So, and of course, as you grow older, you know, as you mature as a believer, and really as time has gone on, what happens to many of us is we receive the Christ consciousness, is what it is. It's that it isn't necessarily all black and white Jesus stories, and if you don't believe them, you're going to die and go to hell. I don't really subscribe to that anymore. But what happens is people do get a Christ consciousness where they go, well, you know, I really, I see the error of my ways and I probably need some improving there. So they do. And that's the entire generation of the whole thing. It's having that, there's a turning in your life. Hence they call it born again or saved or regenerated. It depends on what camp you're talking to. But it's that renewal of the soul where you have the ability to let go of your past and move forward from there. Everything that was burdening you from your past, you can release into the care of the Creator. For the same energy that dissolves oil spills in the Gulf of Mexico can minimize your sin debt. So that same incredible energy of the world, of life force, all those things are available to you as a human being, because as I mature in my faith, I find that this really is one big thing. And I'm an integral part of one big thing starring me, you know. But at no point do you think that you're the center of it, but it's a lovely appointment to an incredible cast. And I like to be, I like to be helpful. I always, as a little boy, I was a helpful guy. I was, I got a couple of gold stars in my day. And as you grow older, I truly
believe that before that accident, you would have gone to the right place. You would have. I mean, even without this epiphany, I think you would have gone to the right place, Lou, because you were a good person at heart even before that happened. And you know how when you go to a comedy show, there are some routines or some bits that you want the comic to say, you want to hear it again.
Yeah.
The last time you told me this story, I think we were eating breakfast in a breakfast house or something. We were having lunch, maybe. I can't remember what it was. But the best part of the story you told me you left out here, and that was, how long were you on your back when you were in the hospital?
21 days.
21 days you were on your back in the hospital and you were looking up.
And
you said, that's all I could do was look up. And when I realized I'm looking up, that's when it happened for me. and you began to do a lot of research on different religions.
Yes.
To kind of bone up on what makes them all tick, kind of.
Well,
so you can understand them all better.
Sure. And, I say sometimes that the Creator broke my bones, but he fixed my heart. And he did. He threw me on my back to look up. And for me to take the focus off of myself and various problems. I had a ragged relationship happening at the time. I had financial woes. I had, modern problems. And I was a little exhausted over the whole situation. And then here I am, literally in the hands of other things. And that's the thing that we've done, Rory, all of our lives. As we travel, we depend on strangers. Okay. And here I was depending on strangers, literally to save my life. The doctors and the nurses and the physical therapists. I'll tell you what, one of the things that I haven't had a pity party in a while. I'm not saying I haven't been tearful or, but that, oh, woe is me bullshit. I just don't, I'm not a victim of anything or anybody. But the pity party is, that's one of your great triumphs in life, is when you do away with that, when you get rid of your victim mentality, that all these things are happening to you, that you're being targeted. Life comes at you as it does, and the way your results are how you react to whatever comes at you. So with the Christ consciousness, and the thing that I noticed about nearly all religions is they're all they're franchising something that's already free. So they're creating a sub book they're trying to recreate and restate to you the energy and the love and all this beauty that's available to every human being on this earth. And also what it is a segmentation of dividing us. This is all one beautiful thing. I mean, the tree in your yard, the dolphins in the Gulf, every living thing, your neighbor's dog. This is all one thing. But religions want to, they franchised it. They franchised this beautiful love that the Creator gave us. And it said, these are the rules, and this is the tenets that we made up. So if you want to join our club, it'll only cost you 10% of what you make, and go there. So
I think that all religions basically, the similarity between all of them is that they want you to be good to each other. They want us all to be good to each other, all of us. And like you say, they tack on their own rules and things, and I don't prescribe to that. I mean, I do believe if you're a good person and that you're good to other people, that your place is reserved, in a good place afterwards. Whether that be the reincarnation of the Chinese religions, the Asian religions, or going up to the heaven and the pearly gates of our religion, whatever that is, our spirit is going to be taken care of in a good place.
And the thing of it is, it's all so mysterious. You don't know until it happens to you. So,
well, some people said they've come back, but even that's questionable. But I think that God at that time knew that you were a good person at heart, and your life might have not have been perfect at that time, and that was probably perfect for the situation. But He knew you were going to be a warrior for Him later on down the line, preaching the good faith.
Yes. Well, and that's
my feeling.
Well, buddy, I appreciate that. And it's a very astute observation. I've had an absolutely wonderful life. I have an incredible 21-year-old son who's just funny and witty and sharp. His name is Isaac, which is Hebrew for laughter. That's what that name means. And I have so many wonderful, beautiful friends, and I still have my mother She's 82 years old, and
that's
she's
wonderful.
the soul of my wit, man. She used to call me in when I was a little kid to watch the comedians on Merv Griffin and Mike Douglas and all those afternoon shows. So I knew who Freddie Prinze was when I was 10 years old. You know, I mean, I knew who George Carlin was when I was 10 years old. So, and I got a record player for I think my 13th birthday, and I got 2 albums. I got George Carlin, FM and AM, and Led Zeppelin 2.
Wow, what a combo!
Yeah.
See, I was sneaking listens to George Carlin's Class Clown when I was a preteen, when I was 13, 14 years old, and Big Bamboo by Cheech and Chong. Those were the 2 that I just listened to faithfully.
That was Big Bamboo and Los Cochinos were fantastic Cheech and Chong albums. And then I got like the wish of a lifetime. For several dates, I was Tommy Chong's opening act when he went out on the road without Cheech Marin.
So you used to call him up on the telephone, right?
Yeah. And then he got Lou, and he didn't need to do that. But and then Shelby, his wife, took over the feature spot there. So, but I really, he's such a nice man. And in fact, we were hanging one night, and he went to the Antiquarian bookstore earlier that day, and he brought me a copy of Awakening Mystical Consciousness by Joel Goldsmith, and an amazing book. Oh, absolutely. And he and Tommy had a very, very similar born again experience at a camp in Canada when he was like 13 years old. So we talked for hours and hours, and it was really cool.
I bet.
He used to leave big roaches in his ashtray. Big, like, you know, he'd get done smoking and he'd just put this giant roach down, you know. And I'd go to leave and I didn't have any with me. I go, "Can I take that roach?" He goes, "Take him home, man." He goes, I reached a point.
Man, you sound just like him.
Because I reached a point in my career, man, where I said, "I ain't smoking no more roaches, bro." So that was a treasure, and it was really funny. I had a couple of them like isolated in a little glass vial, you know, and I knew what they were.
These were Tommy's.
These were Tommy Chong roaches, yeah. So they were like little mementos. And then one of my stoner buddies, Steve Johnson. You remember Steve Johnson?
Steve. Yeah.
He's
we just
gone
lost
now.
him last year as well.
Yeah. Anyway, Johnson sees these 2 roaches in the vial and he smokes them both. I go, "Dude, those were commemorative Tommy Chong roaches." And he felt bad for about 30 seconds. But
yeah, that sounds like Johnson.
But Johnson, Johnson was my partner on a couple of radio shows.
Oh man, he was a
I
very
did
talented guy, man. Very talented writer.
One of the most spontaneous, funny dudes. And Rory, I could do this with you. Johnson and I used to do a thing on It's Later Than You Think. It was called Jokes for Pugs. And what it was, I would tell a street joke, and then he would translate it in pug language with the, you know. And he had such great comedic timing. He'd put the verbs
you could almost
in the
hear
right
the words in the pug sound.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very, very, very funny. In fact, if you and I rehearsed it once, we could do it. So, yeah, it's so Johnson was. I loved him.
He'd sell you that bit for $50.
Yeah. Well,
I learned that one the hard way.
He battled a lot of demons, man. He had some addiction issues and self-esteem issues like most comics have, you know. But he passed.
What are your other favorite stories? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying he passed. He passed quietly one night.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite stories that you used to tell was when you were driving in the desert and you look out your window and there's a coyote next to your car.
Yeah.
That story was so uplifting. Can you share that with us?
Well, a lot of people don't know how fast they go, the coyotes.
Yeah.
And they really can get quite a sprint going there, especially if they're strapped to an Acme rocket sled.
There
So
you go. That was my favorite bit in your act for
man,
obvious reasons.
that was Angel Wolf 101.
Stop.
That was very good. That was Angel Wolf 101 there. That was some old stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was in my original
this has been
set.
wonderful. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. Please, if you bump into Ward or Mike Rivera or the gang, tell them I said hey. Tell them come on the show.
I'm working with Ward and Mike at the Palladium in St. Petersburg on August 21st. Me, Malibu Mo, Maurice Jovan, Ward Smith, Mike Rivera. There's one more. I can't remember. Sorry, who I don't remember. But anyway,
my favorite St. Pete room was the State Theater. Where they had the awesome hallway from the green room. I remember Jim Brewer bouncing off the walls of that hallway, going to the stage, pretending he was doing Footloose. He would go.
I brought Jim on stage for his first time. The first time he ever did stand-up comedy, I brought Jimmy Brewer on stage for the very first time. And it was funny. He came up and he had a good set for a first-timer, like amazing.
Yeah.
And I go, ladies and gentlemen, that guy's going to be very famous or get his ass beat every weekend. So, and both things were true for a while. But anyway, but Brewer's a really funny guy. I love him to pieces. He's a pure comic spirit. And Florida's the home.
Everybody that sees him on screen, on TV and movies and stuff, they don't realize how much more funnier he is when he's just being Brewer off stage, which is really fantastic.
Yeah.
Really,
he's
funny.
mint. Rory, thank you. Lovely meeting all of you, and be well. Namaste, and
thank you.
Any other shows, real quick, that you want to promote? You have a podcast of your own, don't you?
Yes, I do a show called IMHO.love, in my humble opinion, .love. .love is a suffix you can get now instead of .com or .net because it's all about the love, baby. And we cover CE5, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, or HICE, Human-Initiated Contact Experiences. We actually have a group that meets and we try to energetically link with our extraterrestrial family that skims by every night. So an amazing thing. IMHO.love. I'm on tomorrow night at 7:30. Facebook Live. It gets on YouTube, BitChute, Podbean, and now I think. Thanks for turning me on to Streamboat or whatever this thing we're on now.
StreamYard.
Looks good, doesn't it? Thank you so
it's
much,
wonderful.
Lou.
It's really good.
Real Hits would be proud. You're getting those aliens out there.
There you go.
And thank you, Avis Marie, for coming on. So much luck in both your careers. We're opening things up again, so I hope you have a lot of work in the near future. Break legs.
Thanks.
Thank you, Renee.
I had a sneeze.
It's appearing on me. Poor thing, she's got a headache tonight. Thank you so much for sticking through it. And Jonathan, thank you for playing music for us. This is It's Casual.
Thank you, everybody.